Howdy y'all, Christi here with Little Salty Homesteader. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am here to do another weekly update here in my North Texas vegetable garden. It is the middle of July and it is quite steamy out, so let's go see what's happening. Alright, in keeping up with tradition for all of the other weekly updates, we are starting here in the tomato patch. If you have watched the last couple, you will know that quite a bit has been done within the tomato patch to clean it up, kind of tame the wild and get the chaos under control a bit. And the plants that are left are looking substantially healthier. There's lots of new growth here that you can see, and then we even have some of the tomatoes blooming, which of course makes me happy. One of the other things of note is, of course, these eggplants here. Ever since I got most of the tomatoes removed out of this bed and got these staked up, there's just been a ton of new growth happening here, and these are really healthy, strong plants. These two don't actually have any eggplant on them right now because I harvested them all to make pizza. There are a few little babies growing on these last two over here. So we're just gonna give these some time to grow and turn those into either pizza or baba ganoush. So really exciting, but overall these plants are doing substantially healthier now that they have room to spread out and they have some support to continue growing. One thing that I am seeing though is flea beetles. So if you look on the leaves here, you can see all these little tiny holes, and that's what that is flea beetle damage. And that is what it looks like. If you can see that little tiny guy right there, that is a flea beetle. So I probably need to get out here with some insecticidal soap and spray these down. We are expecting cooler weather actually in just a few hours. So once that cold front, the not as hot front rolls in, I will come out here and spray these and then rinse off that soap in the morning, and that should take care of any of the little beetles that are on there. One thing that is different from last week is I went ahead and removed those tomatillo plants. While they were massively humongous, they weren't especially prolific. In fact, there was only one tomatillo growing on them at all, and they were a good 6 foot tall, very bushy, very healthy plants, just not producing. So I cut them down and just pulled them out. I decided to give the opportunity for these eggplants and things to grow, clear out the space for fall vegetable planting, just get this bed ready for Brussels sprouts and broccoli and stuff that's going to need to be transplanted out soon. On the end here, we have Italian oregano. It's just going really wild. I love it. And it's starting to flower, and that's really, really cute. And we have this Thai basil here. I'm actually going to be making some stir fry later, so I may come grab some of this basil to put in with the stir fried broccoli. I have one cherry tomato plant left in this bed. It is this Sakura cherry, which looks like flea beetles have really gotten a hold of, so I'll spray this one down as well whenever I am spraying down these eggplants. Other than that, everything was already existing in this bed. I did plant a squash seed at this end last week, but it has not germinated yet. Such is the struggle of me growing squash this year, but we'll see what happens. This bed, I also planted squash the same day, but it did germinate, and I can't remember what kind it is, but it is on one of my garden maintenance it is on the broccoli seed starting videos. We can both go find out what squash that is growing there. This Tulsi basil is looking really great, but it also looks like I may have some blue spice in here, judging by these flower heads here. Overall, really healthy. Then porter tomatoes, there's a few on here that are ripening up. There's some new blooms, so hopefully that continues to create more tomatoes. I see some damage here, so it looks like maybe I need to come look for hornworms, possibly. I'll keep an eye out for that. Also, since I cleared this bed out, these cowpeas that were kind of getting smothered are really starting to take off and put a ton of growth on. There's peas. There's one that's ready to be harvested. This plant that's been on the corner that has been doing really well is just continuing to just show off and show out. A lot of peas on there. There's a few that are ready to harvest. Overall, this bed is doing really great. Really happy with it. This bed, this one used to have the really large tomatoes, the big beefsteak sized tomatoes. There are a few left. I have a Thorburns terracotta here, and then down there I have an Italian heirloom and another Thorburns terracotta. That is all that is left in this bed. There was a Rebel Starfighter Prime, but I came out one morning and it had just like flopped completely over and was super sad, so I just cut it down. I don't have the time or the energy to devote to try to keep it healthy, so I just, you know, I'm gonna work on the healthy plants here, getting some fall fruit sets going on with these, and not worry about trying to keep sick and or struggling plants around at this point. We're at the hottest part of the summer, so it just makes sense to, you know, not try to focus on plants that aren't going to be healthy. And then we have new growth here, under here. These are blooming. It's really cool that Italian heirloom is blooming in the middle of July. I think the shade cloth has really helped keep these plants kind of cool and kind of healthy. I also planted squash in this one, right in this area, but it didn't germinate either. There's more cowpeas here and an ant on my arm. Hold on, I have to get the ant off. Okay. More cowpeas here. These are pink eye purple hull cowpeas. Looks like I need to come out a little bit later and harvest a little bit. This Persian basil is crazy tall, but it's really beautiful. I'm going to use this one to make some pink basil lemonade later this week. Pineapple sage, I think the heat is really starting to affect it. Hopefully with these cooler temps for the next week or so, this will be able to kind of bounce back a little bit and regain its footing. But you know, mostly everything else is super healthy in this bed. This lime basil is like a mound of just beautiful bounty. It's really darling. I may harvest some of that to put in the lemonade as well. We'll see. I'm really wanting to try to make it, you know, pink. So I'm trying to stick with like the purple varieties. So we'll see. Maybe I'll make two different ones. Over here, we have sweet peppers and okra, and then various companion plants planted in both raised beds. And then we have squash in that one. As you can see, the okra is okraing. It is doing absolutely phenomenally. We have okra growing down low. We have okra growing up high. We have okra flowering all the way down. In the midst of the worst of the summer heat, it's really nice to look out here and see all these beautiful okra blossoms, these beautiful okra pods. If you really just need a pick-me-up in the middle of the heat of the summer, the okra plant will for sure do it for you, because it kind of just provides a little bit of everything. It's going to give you some shade as it gets really tall, like those guys at that end. It's going to give you some beauty with these darling little flowers. And then of course it's going to give you food. So it's just, you know, kind of an all-around summer plant powerhouse. These sweet peppers, banana peppers, I need to come harvest. I didn't get to it last week. I need to come do it again, get some more pickles made. I have these habanadas here. There's like a bazillion ripe ones. My husband decided he didn't like the flavor of these, so I don't know what to do with them, but I'm not gonna grow them next year. I'm not a sweet pepper person other than eating them pickled, so I'm not gonna grow them for me for sure. So I don't know what to do with all of these that are ripe, but I have a bunch of them. So if you want the flavor of habanero without the heat of the habanero, habanada might be a pretty good bet for you. It is definitely a prolific little plant. There's probably like 10 peppers on here that are ready for me to pick. So if you want to try it, sure. I mean, if it were hot, my husband would be all about it, but he's just not a sweet pepper person either. Like I was saying on the banana peppers, I need to come harvest them so I can make some more pickles. These plants are all bell peppers. Now, I did harvest a few yesterday for our fajitas, but you can see that there's still a few growing. And it's crazy to me that I'm growing peppers when it's bell peppers even, when it's 100 degrees outside. I've never been able to grow bell peppers in the extreme heat before, so that is really exciting. I haven't actually dehydrated any for paprika yet. We've been using them for stir fry and fajitas, so they're getting used up pretty quickly. But they're growing and they're feeding us, so that's really exciting. Over here, this is the Black Beauty zucchini. Obviously the plant is big and lush. I have not gotten any fruit off of it yet because I haven't seen any female flowers. There have only been male flowers that have actually opened on this, so I'm not entirely sure why or what's going on with that. But I have this yellow scallop squash here, and it looks like it's gonna start creating flowers soon too. Oh, this one, the squash that I planted last Monday did germinate, or last Tuesday, whatever day that was. That one did germinate, so it was like a half and half germination. I guess I'll take it. Over here we have more beautiful show-stopping okra, and then more beautiful sweet peppers, basil, obviously in the middle between the two vegetable plants. These are mulatto isleno. Let me show you kind of what it's looking like as it ripens. So it kind of turns a brownish color, and then it will turn red, and I've just been dehydrating it and grinding it up and using it as like a chili powder in my fajita marinades. It's been really good for that. These two are purple bell peppers. These were seeds from my grandfather, so I always put them in my garden, but these have a tendency to be more of like a fall producer for me compared to summer, so we will wait and see what happens there. I have harvested a few though, so that's really good. And then I think maybe the okra is taller than the fence. Wow, it's really growing. So that's what, 6 inches in a week or so, because last week it was about my height, so that is crazy. So you can see here the ants like the blossoms, but they pretty much leave the fruits alone. So I spray them off every morning, and then by the afternoon this is what they look like. It's fine, we're all fine. But these beds are doing really well, even though out of all of the beds, these two get hit by the sun the most and the longest and the hardest. It's cloudy today, so they are getting a little bit of a reprieve, but these beds are doing just amazingly well, considering, you know, how much sun they do actually get each and every day. Now these okra are providing a bit of shade for the sweet peppers as the sun moves this direction. Then once it gets past about this point, the okra is no longer shading it, and these are just blasted for the rest of the day, but they still look really great considering. I do need to come out here and fertilize. That's on my to-do list for later today. Hopefully you can see some yellowing in these violet sparkle leaves here. I have some Dr. Earth's fertilizer. I have liquid fertilizer, and I have some earthworm castings. Now I'm not gonna do the granulated fertilizer with the liquid. I'm gonna do the granulated as a slow release with the earthworm castings, and then next week I'll come back with the liquid and give it like a quick nutrient boost that way. But garden is looking pretty good, y'all. These zinnias that I planted in front of the greenhouse, they're really starting to put some height on. These are going to get quite tall. These are Benary's giants, so I really expect them to get much taller than they currently are. In here, that was a gomphrena. I think a grasshopper ate it. I don't even know at this point. Then over here we have another Benary's giant and some cosmos. Now I can't remember if that's red or purple, but we'll see whenever it blooms. But both of those are doing really well. And then over here, the sunflower patch has been completely replanted. You can see there are some young sunflowers that have sprouted. What I did over the weekend was I cut down sunflowers from this one and then those 4, and I planted them out. So this one on this corner and this one on this corner are just straight chocolate cherry. The entire back is planted with a sunflower mix, so it's all different types of sunflowers. And then these remaining front ones are drop dead red mix sunflowers, so varying shades of red sunflowers here, chocolate cherry on the ends, and then a mix of different types along the back. I think that's gonna look really great for fall, as long as they can make it to adult height. The grasshoppers are really being quite jerky this year, so we shall see. I mean, I do have some growth, so that's good. Over here, the flower bed, it's still in the midst of its transition point. There are some things blooming, but overall it's just kind of waiting for everything to kind of grow and start making its flowers as well. Now the things that are doing really well at this end, we have amaranth here, geranium, we have Sahara Rudbeckia, and then we have a Diablo Cosmos, and then the Snapdragon does have a couple of flowers left, but I do think it's about to slow down for the fall, for the heat of the summer. So at this point it's just keeping it alive through the winter and such, which this one seems to have perennialized, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. And then over here, this is mostly transition, and we have, oh Lord, I just had the name of that salvia on the tip of my tongue. Henry Duelberg salvia here. We have some type of cinnamon that looks like, basil. I think it's cinnamon basil. We have agastache here. Pumpkin on a stick here. I'm trying to be really careful because I don't know if you can see the thorns. It's a violent type of plant. And then we have feverfew, birds in the trees. This is going to be a hollyhock, so it won't bloom until next year. Then over here, it's sort of the mirror image, hollyhock back there, the Henry Duelberg salvia, feverfew. This one is starting to bloom. It's really cute. Eggplant on a stick. This is double sunset gaillardia. And look at the petals. I think that's so cute. And then we have more Diablo Cosmos, more amaranth. There's 2 types of amaranth over here. And then we have Sahara Rudbeckia. And then we have just the zinnias and sunflowers and things that were transplanted in, just waiting on those to bloom. Now, some of these milkweeds that I planted early in spring have grown quite a lot. They have oleander aphids on them, which is totally normal. Not too worried about it. Ladybugs will come in and take care of that problem. The monarch, if monarchs do flitter through here and lay their eggs on the milkweed, the caterpillars will not be affected by the aphids. They'll still be able to eat the leaves and stuff just fine. Then this green stalk, we have a ton of cowpeas and cream peas planted. So these two top rows are definitely cream peas. I think maybe the bottom row is cream peas, but you can see that because it's been so hot, these things are just going gangbusters. I mean, they're blooming like crazy. They are pollinating like crazy, creating a ton of peas. So that's really exciting. I'm growing my own luck, y'all. And I still have no idea what this plant is, but it's everywhere and it's like taking over. I'm pretty sure that at some point I'm going to have to cut it out and remove it. It almost seems like lemon balm to me, the way that it's taking over, but I do not remember planting lemon balm here, so I have no idea. I don't know what's going on, but it's like everywhere. So yeah, I think that I'm going to remove it, and if I do plant lemon balm, I want to keep it in a container, not this kind of container, because it's taking over all the pockets. Then we have this funny little perennialized kale. It's been there, it's been there well over a year, and I can't kill it. It's just growing along. It hasn't bolted or anything, so I'm just letting it do its thing. Obviously, if it bolts, then I'll cut it, but if not, I'll leave it until the winter. A cold snap will make it taste just fine. So thank you, kale, the little engine that could. Okay, over here we have the hot peppers with a ton of yellow marigolds. Unfortunately, the yellow marigolds are dwarfing out some of the plants. So also on my to-do list today is to actually remove those. I hate doing it, but it's getting to the point where it is affecting the production of some of the pepper plants. So I'm making the executive decision to focus on food in here and less on the flowers. Like I said, I am sad. I need to find like a truly dwarf variety with like a single stem. And then I think that that will be better suited for this, because like, look at this plant. That's all that it has grown. But this marigold is huge. So I think I think that the production is being affected by where those marigold plants are just so massive. Some of the other plants are doing really well. I harvested a bunch of serranos off of here yesterday, and then I have jalapenos kind of growing all over. The cayenne has a couple on it. Mushroom pepper is still just chugging along, excuse me. I need to fertilize this as well. You can kind of see where we have some weird stuff going on with the leaves. I did fertilize with liquid fertilizer, this one, last week, so I will come through in all the pockets and put granulated fertilizer and earthworm castings just to provide a little bit more holistic nutrition to the plants here. But I mean, it's actually looking better than it did a few weeks ago. Like, there's tons of new leaf growth on these plants, so I think as long as I am staying diligent with fertilizing, giving them some more room to grow, that they will really start producing a lot more. Just for a moment, look how cute the bloom is for the Buena Mulata peppers. It's purple, y'all. It's purple. Purple, 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 purple. That makes me happy. The rest are white, just as to level set there. Strawberries, not much has changed there. The ones that are growing are doing really well. They seem to have lots of healthy growth on them. The limes, y'all, if I can show you, maybe. I'm gonna have limes soon. So there's 3 on the plant this year. and they're just growing right along. This will be the first limes that I've gotten off of this tree. I learned that they're very heavy feeders. I'm almost constantly having to fertilize. Once we get it moved into this, that will give the roots a little bit more room. I'm sure part of that is, you know, kind of running out of room for stuff. This is the hodgepodge green stalk that is growing a little bit of everything. Obviously, it's growing mint. This is kind of like the lemon balm lesson from over there. While I want to grow mint, I don't think I'm going to grow it in here anymore just because it has taken over. It's in every pocket on this row and it's starting to come out of other rows as well. So yeah, there's mint everywhere. There's also okra, like a patio variety, and you can see that some of them do have little okra pods on them, so really cute. And then cinnamon basil, this one's really good for tea. And then on the other side, let me walk around there. If you guys ever see me take the long way, it's because I don't want to disturb a spider web that I see. Okay, so over here there are some hot and super hot pepper varieties. So we have Aleppo right here. This is actually probably ready for me to harvest this afternoon. Lemon habanero. I don't think that it looks like it's going to start blooming soon, if you can see those flower bud there. This is a regular habanero, and then this one is a regular habanero. I think I need to water the side more. I deeply water the top every day, and it's supposed to like drain through, but yeah, I will come individually water that pocket because it seems a little sad. And I need to remove the orange marigolds out of here and obviously trim back mint because it's coming everywhere. But the hodgepodge green stalk is definitely growing. Oh, here's another okra right here. So we have several okra. That's pretty cool. Over here, show you this beautiful hibiscus. And I don't remember what variety this is. This is a hardy hibiscus though, so it comes back year after year. You don't have to protect it in the winter or anything. It just dies back and then comes back in the spring. Really, really beautiful pink with the dark foliage. We have these darling little light pink zinnias, the oak leaf hydrangea here. This has actually grown a ton this year, so that is excellent. Logan's mum. Then we have the aloe vera. I really need to come through and get rid of some of these like little pups that have shot off of the sides and give it a little bit more breathing room, refresh the soil a bit. I just need to add it to the to-do list, but show you guys the beautiful mid-July garden. Sweaty. Okay, so aside from the things that I showed you all around the garden for this week, there are a ton of little seedlings inside the house that will be transplanted out for the fall and winter garden. So far there is Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and then I planted a second variety of Brussels sprouts yesterday, and then there are some flower seeds that I have started to be transplanted out. So there's going to be hopefully food growing year-round out of this space, which is awesome. So that's all I have for you guys for this weekly update. If you liked today's video, please feel free to like and subscribe and do all those YouTube-y things. It greatly helps my channel. But until next time, go find a way to get those garden manicures. Bye!